You are listening to New England Haunts Podcast, episode number 7, my 2022 visit to the Forsaken Lands in Goshen, Connecticut. And I am your host, Hallowoosh. It is April 2023, and with me, as always, is my hilarious Hobgoblin.
Oh!
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 That is a mating call right there if I've ever heard one. I love it. Noobs,
Yes.
how we doing today?
I am doing great. I'm doing hobgoblin things all over the place.
Like what?
I'll tell you off air.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So, this is a brand new first-year haunt, the Forsaken Lands, at a place called Action Wildlife, Goshen, Connecticut. 10 minutes northwest from Torrington, Connecticut. I think this haunt gets to claim the northwest section of Connecticut. There's really nothing else around there. Right directly on the town border of Goshen and Torrington is where this place is. Their driveway is almost cut in half by the town line. It's on Route 4, and it was a weird road to me. I don't know if other people would agree, but it's like a 10-minute drive from the city of Torrington, and it felt a hell of a lot longer. I remember going uphill the whole way. There was tons of deer, lots of roadkill. Truck in front of me hit a raccoon or a porcupine or something. It was very dark, no street lights, very rural. And I'm just saying, to drive with some caution if you go. You should be with everywhere you go, but this road just gave me some bad vibes, that's all.
Right.
And I gotta say, for a first-year haunt, this was very impressive. Very good detail, good method of lighting, and lots of fog, sounds, highly impressed. And it turns out that at least one of the guys who runs the show is actually a guy who worked at Legends of Fear for a while. And his name is Alex Fortuna. And there are certain aspects of this place where I could tell, like, yeah, that's how Legends would have done that there. And not sure if the other two guys ever did haunt work, but Tony Citro and Brian Morardi. I guess Alex also worked at a Trail of Terror for a while, too.
So are you saying they copied it?
No, not like that. It's just like just ways of placing the speakers and what type of music, what type of lighting. They just felt like it was the way Legends of Fear would do them. And that's not a bad thing at all.
So would you say it's better for, like, haunts to learn on their own rather than, like, being shown what to do?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little something to be said there, but it's more a preference style of judging, I think. Like, yeah, to me, there's something really special about some of these haunts that were built from the ground up by people who didn't know what they were doing, but love and passion drove them to keep going and keep learning on their own. You know, it's like a freaking Disney story, right?
Right.
I definitely wouldn't have the same feeling towards a place if I knew the owner just bought someone else's haunt and they just relocated it. But this place ain't like that at all. You know, they actually contracted Tyler Green from Face Off to make some stuff for them. And by coincidence, his studio is like 20 minutes away in Winsted, Connecticut. So, I mean, that's pretty freaking sweet. You know, I didn't even realize that until like December because I wasn't paying full attention to everything. The Forsaken Lands has a YouTube channel. It wasn't really talked about too much about on their Facebook page. They were at least trying to get a small behind-the-scenes series going, and they called it Saws and Screams. And it's just 3 short videos, but the last one was about Tyler Green Studios and all the cool stuff that he was making for them, and how they're using his products and all that kind of stuff.
What kind of stuff was it?
It's like gory body parts. They did a life cast of Alex, and they made him into like a top half body with the guts hanging out and all that.
Nice.
Some hanging skin, like hanging out to dry. I guess they use his airbrush kits too.
That's cool though. So it's like all their own like custom made props, like no one else has.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
So for that one, if it's his life cast, then it's made for this haunt, then, right?
No, but that doesn't really mean that he claims exclusive rights over the cast, though. Like usually when a studio makes a cast, they want to use that cast and make more products from it to sell. Unless the haunt that wanted that cast wants like multiple of them. But more than likely, this haunt has some items you may not see anywhere else. And like I said, the detailing is really good for a first year. They even put in an effort to make a story that's bigger than most other haunt stories. So here we have Abraham. What's up?
The Forsaken Lands Outdoor Haunted Attraction, Connecticut's latest and most cutting-edge haunted attraction, opens its very creaky barn doors for the first season of Fears at Action Wildlife. The inhabitants of this long-forgotten farm village unleash their wrath on and consume all who dare step foot onto their forbidden grounds. It's long lost, forgotten, forsaken.
That's it?
Oh no, my good sir.
Oh boy.
Sit back and grab another beer. We're going on a magical journey.
Oh boy.
And before we go on that magical journey, I'm going to grab a beer as well. Time for some beer dedication. Ugh.
What do we got?
Well, I saw on their Facebook page a while ago, they were sort of promoting a brewery very close to them. This is Norbrook Farms Brewery in Colebrook, Connecticut. Seems like they got a couple unique options here. This is Hamlet of the Heathens. It's an American IPA, 5.7%. Weird can design. It's like some cows and a goat and a sheep as like a some kind of preacher or something, all throwing a bunch of farm equipment into a fire.
What?
I don't know. That's a weird one. Let's see what it says here. It says something here. Meekertown was a community of colliders working the charcoal industry in the area of South Norfolk and Falls Village, now part of the Great Mountain Forest. In 1820, a local deacon visited the camp to pursue them to accept religion and renounce their way of life. The deacon seemed the community a hamlet of the heathens, living in intellectual, moral, and spiritual darkness. We've brewed this easy drinking IPA with wild hops harvested from Meekertown, looking for bright, floral, and resinous notes that will entice that inner Meekertown in all of us.
You know, we all have a little Meekertown in all of us, don't we?
What? I don't know if that's a made-up thing or if they're actually like a village over there was called me. I don't know. Oh, here we go. American IPA. So here we go. Don't you dare go all over me. There we go. All right, that was nice. Ooh, hoppy. If you're hoppy and you know it, drink some beer.
Hey.
Yeah, good hops there. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Part of the can. I got a bunch of hops drawn on the top of the can.
Nice.
Hops are nice. Hey, not too bad. I don't have too much to say about it. It's okay. American IPA, so definitely you're gonna get that hoppy
goodness.
Hoppy Sunday, Monday, hoppy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, hoppy days.
Thursday, Friday, hoppy days.
Day. Drink some beer on every day. Okay.
Would you recommend going to the brewery to try that beer?
I have no reason to say no, so I'm going to say why not.
Go to Forbidden Lands.
Forsaken Lands.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Sorry.
God. All right, so here's the story of the Forsaken Lands.
The story of the Forsaken Lands. Your car has broken down on the dirt roads, deep in the thickness of the woods in Ridgeway, Connecticut. There hasn't been a sign of life for the past 10 miles, except for a few crows and raccoons. You decide to begin traveling on foot, hoping to stumble onto some sort of civilization. You then come across Al's Automotive Repair, established in 1958. However, little do you know that Al's Auto has been defunct for over 20 years, along with the rest of the society in which it resides. Your only direction to turn, aside from the ceaseless cornfields, is to the decrepit cabin of the notorious Morton family. The Mortons were rumored to have been the last family to inhabit Ridgeway, for unknown reasons. The rest of the population was said to have fled over 30 years ago, after a series of unspeakable happenings and disappearances. Word quickly got around that Mr. Morton was responsible for the chaos. Mr. Morton had made a sinister pact with other local farmers and townspeople to eliminate all outsiders who decided to cross the town border using grisly methods to make it clear that they do not belong. The horrors of the cursed cabin drive you directly out within minutes, leaving sweat running down your neck and drops of blood upon your clammy skin. You now have nowhere to turn. Who knows, there may just be a chainsaw-wielding freak, or two, still roaming these grounds. This long-forgotten civilization of crop fields, motels, diners, and slaughterhouses will consume you every step you take deeper into the heart of the Forsaken Lands.
Yeah, that was a fun story. Not a lot of places do that, so that's
But wait!
What?
There's more!
You're joshing me.
Oh, geez, you got me in a corner there. Jesus. They made a story for all 5 of their areas they built.
Wow.
Come on, let's check it out.
Let's go.
Al's Auto Shop was established in 1958, but was shut down not long after by the authorities in 1990, after multiple incidents in which employees were severely injured on the job. Al was then arrested for negligence to his employees' safety. Al's Auto was the only automotive shop within at least an hour drive for town residents. Rumor had it that within several months after his arrest, Al had escaped prison and put word out that his automotive shop was still in business. He began luring the townspeople into the shop with the expectations of getting their vehicles serviced, but in reality ended up as victims of Al's brutal murder methods. This was the deranged mechanic's way of sending the authorities a message for locking him up.
The Morton Farm and Estate. The town's deepest and darkest secrets were kept within the fences of the Morton Farm and Estate. No other residents of the town were friendly with the Mortons, as they kept to themselves and isolated within their unsettlingly quiet farm. However, one of the dark secrets that lie within the farm suggests Mr. Morton had made a pact with other local farmers and townspeople to start snatching all outsiders who crossed the town line off the streets, and making sure they were never seen again. Legend has it that the Mortons were the last family seen in the crippling town. Meanwhile, there has never been word of outsiders visiting the Morton farm. There has to be a reason for this. Local records also state that Mr. Morton was arrested for allegedly butchering his livestock on his own property in inhumane fashions. But many believe that he was butchering more than just livestock in his barn.
The Fun Fair. established 1920. Once a year, the fun fair came to Ridgeway. The intention was for this fair to provide some summer fun for the public with carnival games, ice cream, live entertainment, and more. After the third year that this event came to town, there was a massive chemical leak at one of the food stands, and the effects it had on those within the fair were unspeakable. Ridgeway officials decided it was too dangerous to even take down the remains of the fair. So, it still rests upon the green hills, and nothing but distant laughs can be heard.
The Fieldside Motel. For those just passing through the town of Ridgeway, there was just one place for them to stay, and that was the Fieldside Motel. Bed bugs were the least of the guests' worries at this motel. There were multiple occasions in which guests that stayed at the motel died not long after as a result of catching a sickness that had broken out within the motel. Some say it could have been affected from the incident that took place at the fun fair, due to the fact that it was less than a mile away. It's tough to get information from a primary source, considering the majority of the guests who stayed there are now dead. This motel makes the Bates Motel seem like a 5-star joint.
Hello, baby!
Dan's Diner had been a town favorite spot for a nice meal. That is until blood and human remains began turning up in the food. Old Dan had a history of mental instability, but this time his change of medication had taken him on a turn for the worse. Old Dan had often been seen with Mr. Morton, which led some of the town to believe that he also had a part in Mr. Morton's pact to eliminate any and all outsiders of the town. This means that there may just be more than burgers and milkshakes being prepared in the back of the diner.
Damn, there's so much backstory.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wish that, the stories would really get incorporated into the haunts, though.
So, where is all this stuff? On their website?
That's all from their website, yep.
It is cool that they do all that, but, like, how many people do you think actually go on the website to see this?
4.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's the problem with it, though. It's cool that they put the work into it, but, like, unless they put it on their, like, social media and stuff, too, but, like, how many people are actually seeing it?
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen in order for it to make any sense. But, I mean, like I said, I love it, but, I mean, I really wish the stories would really get incorporated into the haunt, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't remember anyone taking a moment to describe what all this was about. Although a haunt is lucky enough to get maybe like 3 people to listen all season, so I don't blame them for not doing that. But hey, fun little stories. Maybe they'll play off of them someday. People like me will be entertained for at least a little.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
No.
So those are all the scenes that are in the haunt?
The main ones anyway.
So just 5 then.
Well, not scenes, more like themes, I guess. Multiple rooms in each of them, and other areas, transition areas, I guess. Plenty of haunts do this. I'm sure there's a name for it. Somewhere in the middle of the walkthrough, the guests find themselves in another waiting line right outside of the next themed area. Obviously to break up the line again. I wish more places would do it. I've never seen anybody do it better than Fright Kingdom, though. And tons of cool things to look at, all in between every attraction that they have. Forsaken Lands, they stop you in front of their motel area. It's great looking facade, old wooden backwoods motel looking thing. And I want to say there were like 3 or 4 doors in front of it. And one of the actors there told me I'd be going into room 2. And I also went into the attraction with like 2 or 3 other people, not with me. And this was one of those moments where I was in front, but the people with me were extremely slow, and I was having none of that. So I show up alone at this motel thing, and there's an evil clown and at least one crazy backwoods type character, and they're both awesome actors, but they're like, well, where are your friends? And I'm like, they're not my friends. Just people I thought were my friends.
Did you actually say that?
No. That's sort of a pet peeve of mine too. I'm alone for a lot of these things, and I get that that's not the best for actors because they're used to scaring at least two people at a time, you know.
Yeah.
Going after the one silent, big, serious face guy, it's freaking weird. So when they pop up at me and they instantly look behind me and sort of give up, like, I don't like that, but I get it.
Well, you gotta, it is kind of on you,
Yeah, and I completely agree. It is weird, absolutely. But most of the time, this is the only way I get to see these places. And honestly, I don't bump into that as much as I used to. A lot of places are super cool with just one person going through now.
Yeah.
I don't know what shifted. Also, to be fair, this was their first night open, and it was the end of the night, and they may have been notified that a group was coming in, so I'm the big duty head here, okay? Okay.
Duty head.
The rest of the group shows up. They keep telling me door 2. I quickly realize I can't go to door 2. They have door 1 open up, and I'm like, you still want me to go to door 2? And the crazy one was like, yeah. And I'm like, but I'm going through door 1 right now. He's just go in. You'll figure it out. I'm like, what? It didn't matter. The door 1 was the only door that you could actually go into.
Wait, so you had 2 doors in front of you?
I had 3 doors in front of me.
And the door 1, the door was already open?
The door 1 was the only one that could open. Door 2 and 3 were just part of the
So he probably wanted you to try to go through it and fail or something.
But I literally was there. I was like, you want me to go through door 2? He's like, yeah. I'm like, but I can't. You're in the way. I can't even go to it. He's like, nah, just go in. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. But whatever. The set was great. The actors were going crazy. It was all good. And I can't remember for the life of me how the sound went. Sound, by the way. Excellent use of sound in this place. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if someone there has had some professional experience with sound equipment. All kinds of music, sound effects, just great. But one of the effects was this laughing old lady. And I honestly can't even remember what the prop looked like or if it was even there. But it was a laughing sound that I had never heard before, and it seemed very custom for this haunt. And I could be wrong, but for some reason, that weird detail is sticking with me. And there was a lot of little details like that I liked. There was this one spot where I was walking down a hallway, and on my right, there was like this little short hallway that connected to another long hallway that went the opposite direction. But it was blocked off by a bunch of like oddly stacked furniture and antiques and stuff like that. But the light was sort of piercing through all the open spaces. And for some reason, I'm always fascinated by like that kind of like poltergeist objects moving and forming together. You know, call me weird, but
yeah, you're weird.
Thank you. And I walk around into the other hallway, and light is coming from the other side too, and it's like nice blue, and I'm like just admiring it. So I slow down a bit, and then right in front of my face, this hanging upside down gory screamer guy prop just scares the crap out of me. Just comes out of nowhere. He just drops down, and it just works so well on me because I was slowing down to look to my right. Honestly, I would think most people would just keep looking forward, but I don't know, because most people are like looking forward all the time. They're not like stopping to look to their right or left and keep moving forward. You know, it's probably designed more to hit the middle of the group, but those hangers are usually right in front of your face. So they were pretty much designed for being right in front of your face, to come right down and hit you like as you're almost walking into it.
Wait, so going back real quick about the poltergeist stuff. You said you were fascinated by it, but why?
I guess I could say it's just a style I don't see that much of, so therefore it's sort of unique.
Do haunts get them from somewhere?
Not to my knowledge, but I think that's part of it too. It's like an actual unique custom work of art.
Yeah.
You know, I could say maybe it started in 2019 when I went to Hell's Gate Haunted House in Chicago, or Lockport, Illinois. One of the absolute craziest and most impressive haunts in the world. Again, I bet there's other haunts in the world that have done this type of stuff, but this is just the first place that I've seen it. See, they have this big kitchen room, and there were these arches of items that you walk under, and it's all this kitchen stuff in that arch, like pots and pans, silverware, spatulas, knives, colanders, all that stuff. And I just thought it was awesome. And then right after that, you walk into a hallway, and if you look up, one of the coolest things I've ever seen, it's like a vortex was ripping the whole corner of the hallway off and the second and third floor above it. And they got all these wooden chairs and all bunched together looking like this vortex is trying to suck them all in. And it's just freaking cool. And it's different. And it's like, it's almost like let that set be a character for a bit.
That's cool though, stuff like that, like creative shit like that.
Yeah, I've never seen
where
anything
like,
quite like that.
You know, someone was just like thinking about like different like crazy, weird like stuff to put in. They're like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
let's give it a shot. Also, the Crawford School of Terror near Pittsburgh does some sort of similar thing with those old student desks and chairs. It was like they made a whole arch hallway out of them. So it was like you were walking underneath like a tunnel that's just made of all those rusty old chair desk combo things. I don't know, I just like it.
Yeah.
You know, if I see it in 3 other places, I'll stop liking it.
Wait, so where was that vortex thing?
That was Hell's Gate.
Yeah.
Lockport, Illinois.
No, they're just, that's stuff that, I don't know. From places I've been, you don't see a ton of like creative, like weird stuff like that. Usually, okay, it's, you know, this room, which is fine. But when you see like people like doing like weird creative stuff like that, you know that they're like really into this. And
that's what I mean. Like it's not bought from anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not something that some company is selling, you know, like that set to like 8 other places. Well, as far as I know, anyway. You know, they actually made it. Just like, you know, here at the Forsaken Lands, like this little thing that looks like some kind of ghostly presence just like sucked all of this furniture and made it all stick together some way, somehow.
Yeah.
You know, that they didn't buy that. They got old antique-y stuff and tried to screw it and glue it and whatever, you know, all together to make it their own unique thing. So,
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
And before I go any further, it's probably time for some more beer dedication.
Beer.
So we're going back to Norbrook Farms. And this one here was called the Circus. And you know what I just realized? Out of all that freaking storytelling from this place, these 2 beers, they have a big story written on them too, so it's kind of fitting.
Huh.
It's like beers are coming up with their own backstories too. So this is a New England session. How do you say that? Session, yeah. New England Session IPA. What does that mean?
I think it's just lower alcohol.
Maybe. It's 5%.
Yeah, that's lower. I guess on the lower side for an IPA.
Okay, all right. So this one says, welcome.
It's mainly the meaning is like session. Like you could just sit down and just drink like a lot of them with a bunch of friends and stuff like that.
Okay. I would say like, 5 is pretty high.
I
mean, it's not high, but I mean, it's like, I don't know. That kind of feels like
it's mid-range.
Yeah, all right. So, welcome to the Circus, our fun, easy drinking session IPA brewed with pale malts and oats and stuffed full of the galaxy hops Along with Galaxy, we juggle in more rotating citrus-forward, tropical, and fruity hops for a new performance in every batch. Please visit norbrookfarm.com and match the lot number from the side of the can to see what hops were used in this latest performance. Grab a pint and enjoy the show. I can go online and check out what hops were used in this?
Holy moly.
Goodness gracious. Hang on, I'm doing it.
I like how they do the play on words of the circus throughout the whole description.
Yeah. We're juggling in more rotating citrus forward. Sorry. Norbrook with an E. No, not with an E. Farms. Match the lot number from the side of the can. Well, how do I do that, though? There isn't an option to do that. I don't know how to do it, Sam. Hey, I don't know how to do it. I want to know what hops are in this. Said I could. Liars. Okay, so this is the Circus New England Sessions IPA. No, it's going all over me again. Stop.
Oh.
I think it's because it's warm, right?
You're not drinking it cold?
Well, come on, man. My fridge is full. All right, here we go. Yeah, I couldn't drink that multiple times.
What's it like?
It's just it's almost got like a spiciness to it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can taste the tropical citrus stuff, but I don't know. Maybe if it was really cold and it was a hot day.
Yeah, I mean, IPAs are definitely the best.
Yeah.
Colder, you know. Everything.
Yeah. Very hoppy. It's got a bit of a bitter bite to it. It's probably what it's supposed to be, but what's the IBU stand for?
That's like bitterness.
25? Is that a lot?
Maybe. The thing with IPAs too is they're best. They're better drinking more fresh because something with the hops, like other beers like stouts and like stuff, you can like age a little longer, but anything with like a lot of hops like IPAs, you gotta drink them within like probably like a month or so after they're made.
Right.
As they start breaking down a little bit. You can, underneath on the bottom of the can, sometimes they have a canned on date.
Nah, not this one. I mean, it has a lot number on it, or batch number. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what it means because there isn't a freaking thing online that tells me what kind of hops are in my beer. And they said that they would do that.
Right.
They took my dirt.
They took our jobs.
Oh, here it is. Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, I think it's this one here. Comet, Strata, Mosaic, Citra, Callista, Zythos. That's a lot of hops. All right, and back to Forsaken Lands. So a couple things I didn't like. First and foremost, I was about 3 minutes into the haunt and a chainsaw came out of nowhere. And it's such a mood killer for the avid enthusiasts now, like me. You know, we can't stand them. We tolerate them as an ending scare or part of like a lumberjack or butcher scene or something like that. But anywhere else, especially early in the haunt, it just sucks.
Yeah.
And there's this hotel room set where I walked in from like the bottom right-hand corner and exited through the bottom left-hand corner. But the scene was happening all the way at the top of the room. And it was one of those wall-crawling possessed girl props, I think. And I can't remember if she sort of lurched over the bed or something. But either way, stuff was moving just kind of far away from me. And I felt like I was in no danger at all. There might have been some strategy there. Like a distraction scene or something like that. But other than that, like I said, a very, very good job with everything else.
What was the place where this was at? The Action Park or something?
So Action Wildlife. It's From what I think I know about the place, it's sort of like a zoo, but a lot of the animals are more like domesticated farm animals. You know, some of them not from this area of the country. There was like bison, rams, they got a zebra.
Yeah.
Their areas for the animals are really just like fenced in or stone walls. I don't really know how to feel about it. It's just a ranch kind of looking place.
Yeah.
It might be a rescue. I'm not entirely sure. It kind of feels like that too. But they have a giant indoor museum that's incredible. And I was on my way out, and I didn't know this place existed. In between the haunt and the parking lot, there's this long, like, warehouse barn sort of looking building. And I didn't think much of it. I was there for the haunt. I didn't look inside of it. Didn't have any, like, welcome, come in lights or anything like that. But on my way out, I saw that what looked like a gift store, and it was open at like the bottom of this building and in the back of it. And I walked in, and it's more of like a gift store for the animal park. But I hear all of this water rushing sounds, like a waterfall coming from deeper into the building. And through these doors, and in the back of the gift shop, I walk through, and it's this massive, like 150-foot long, 30-foot tall room, completely bombarded with all of this fake mountain landscape, bunch of waterfall effects, and a massive amount of wildlife taxidermy.
Wow.
It's really, really good taxidermy too. Like a lot of lions in the middle of like taking down water buffalo and a rhino, all the North American animals, mostly either killing something or getting killed.
Right.
And they threw a couple like Halloween decorations there too, which was kind of weird because I figured white-tailed deers getting hunted by wolves or a grizzly taking down an elk would be kind of scary enough. So would have been cooler if they shut off all the lights and just put like colored lights on everything. Like that would have been freaky.
Yeah, it could be a little walkthrough and stuff.
Yeah.
So was this part of the ticket that you could walk through here?
I guess it wasn't mentioned anywhere. I think they just kind of opened it up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a free museum either, but it's definitely a need to see kind of place. So why don't we take a little bit of a music break, and we'll be right back with some more goodies.
Distress Signal by Karl Casey.
That was creepy.
'Twas.
Let's do it again. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, and now it's time for Review Roundup. This is where I expose a few good or not so good reviews of the attractions via Google, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, wherever I can find them.
Just remember, Whoosh will expose you. If you write a review, we will would be exposed.
Thanks for that. All right.
The following voices are not the actual voices of the original content providers.
Well, first off, let's see what Facebook has to offer. 4.5 out of 5. Not too shabby. First year hunt.
Whoa.
Here's a very nice one. Here's Donald Gonzalez, October 23rd, 2022.
Very fun place to go even as an adult. Been through 4 times and just got better and better. The whole crew puts a lot of effort in, so everyone has a great time as soon as they show up. I myself highly recommend this place. Go see for yourselves.
See, now, here's a review that I don't think I can believe. I don't believe they went through 4 times. I don't believe this hunt gets better every time you go through. And I definitely don't know what they mean by when they say that the crew puts in a lot of effort, so therefore, right when you show up, you are having a good time. Like I said, you show up, and the haunt is like 200 yards away from the actual entrance of the haunt.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you walk by the little fire pits and cornhole and some game stuff. But speaking honestly, it wasn't like an event set up. It was actually, it kind of felt more like the place just left all that stuff out and people just sort of played with it because it was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this guy is just trying to be nice and give a good review for some people who deserve it. So I'm not saying they don't work hard. They obviously worked very, very hard. But reviews like this make it seem like it's more than what it is.
Yeah.
So you got a response from the owner.
Donald, thank you very much for the positive review. Our crew is very dedicated and works hard at everything they do. So, we're glad you enjoyed all of your experiences. We hope to scare you again soon.
Nice, clean, professional, good. Moving on. We got Chris 10. K-R-I-S space T-E-N. I'm sure that's on purpose. All right, October 15th, 2022. Big one.
This haunt exceeded expectations. It is very well executed, and I really dig the 50s Americana Gone Rotten theme. There are multiple contiguous themed areas to walk through. The actors really played their roles well and appeared to be having a genuinely good time. The waitress in the diner and the clown with the chainsaw were especially memorable, and there were several very elaborate animatronic special effects. Due to the recent heavy rain, it was very muddy though, so if you go tonight, be sure to wear boots. The indoor portion of the museum is also open, complete with Halloween decorations and included in the price. Beer, wine, and snacks are available, and there are fire pits, a nice place to chill for a while after having the living daylights scared out of you. I hope this haunt does well. I would love for it to come back next year and expand. If you are into this type of thing, please go support it.
Yes, good review. Making it personal, actually talking about what you saw, that's what I like.
Word.
Okay. Response from the owner.
Chris, thank you very much for the positive review, and are glad to hear that Kiwi the Clown and our deranged diner waitress created a memorable experience for you. We appreciate the feedback and apologize for the muddy conditions. With the rain prior to the show, we did our very best to mulch the paths. As we grow in the future, we hope to see you again soon.
My pleasure. Not much you can do about the rain. I'm looking forward to coming back again.
Yep, rain does suck. Sometimes it's just gonna be gross. Let's hop on over to Google reviews for a bit. So out of 47 reviews on Google so far, they have 1 1-star review and 1 4-star review. The rest are 5 stars.
Wow.
That's amazing. All right, let's look at the 1-star review. And by the way, the owner responded to practically everybody, by the way, so I won't play all of his stuff. Now, this is Tristan Morse, the 1-star review.
They false advertise. Said they were open. But I drove 2 hours away, and they were closed. and they denied my refund request. They left ticket sales open, even though they were closed.
Huh.
Yeah, that sounds a bit dirty to me.
Dirty?
Yeah. So if I'm reading this right, he didn't see the posts that they were closed that night. He bought a ticket online because the ticket sales were still open for that day. He drove 2 hours to find out that they were closed, and he's not getting a refund, but he can go back any other day that they're open. What do you think about that?
It's kind of a tough one because the ticket sales were open. You could say that he should have looked more into it, but like if the tickets are there to buy, you know, like I don't know, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, all of us haunt tours kind of learned the hard way to like always look at weather patterns and you know, what time of the day we're traveling and stuff like that, you know, but it really shouldn't be our complete responsibility, you know. Personally, I think if you're going to cancel a show, then there should be like a real easy way for you to cancel the ticket sales for that day.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense to leave them open for purchase.
And then as far as the refund, I mean, I would probably give it to him.
Yeah. Response from the owner.
Mr. Morse, we apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you. However, it was posted on all of our social media and website in the early afternoon that it was necessary to close our doors for the night. It was stated clearly on our website when you purchased tickets and in your confirmation email that this is a non-refundable event, and that tickets purchased on nights of weather cancellations are valid on any other night of the 2022 season.
By the way, I'm using that voice for all of the responses from now on because it is awesome. Yeah, see, this is another big issue with the online limited ticket stuff. I've said this before. As a haunt tourist, we can't just change our plans completely and come back on another day. We have stuff scheduled for every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night of the whole month.
Yeah.
And like this Tristan guy, you know, where he's coming from hours away, you know, not from down the street, not the next town over. I don't know why haunt owners assume that that's always the case every single time. You know, it's okay, you can come back on next Friday. Like, what? You don't know where we are, you don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And there's more and more haunt travelers coming up every single year. This non-refundable stuff isn't the best plan. You know, if you cancel a show, it should be optional to either get a refund or use the ticket on another night. That's just the way that it should be.
Oh.
You know, or add another show night in November or something like that. You know, people have lives. They buy a ticket committing to that date. Every other day is committed.
The thing that they could be doing, though, is like non-refundable, like someone comes and was like, oh, I didn't like it, it wasn't scary, I want to get a refund type thing.
Sure. Yeah, that's a whole different
so
thing.
That might be what they're trying to avoid, but there should be different situations where you can get a refund.
Yeah. You know, and it's a whole another different story if they just show up, if they don't show up because they forgot.
Yeah. Could
be a whole nother different story if, like, you get sick or injured, and, you know, that's a lot of paperwork, I get it.
Yeah, it's like, how do you distinguish because people can say whatever they want just, to get a refund.
Right, yeah. Like, I can understand that, like, you plea with the insurance companies or the town that you're only going to have this many tickets available. That's how many people you're going to allow to go through that night. You're taking away the spot of somebody else if you don't show up. And yeah, you shouldn't be getting your money back for that. I get that, but this is clearly, nobody notified this guy that they were not going to be operating that night. The ticket sales were open. Why can't there be a simple thing saying, sorry, the thing isn't happening tonight? Why? He shouldn't have been able to purchase it. Mm-hmm. And it's like to clap back at this guy saying, like, well, if you went to our Facebook page, and saw not even the newest post. You know, God knows how many freaking posts they might have made that day. You know?
Yeah.
It's just that then you would have seen that we were canceled, you know? Like, it's just this attitude that I get from some haunts sometimes. It's just, not right.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation.
Yeah. All right, so let's do, this is the 4-star review on Google. This is Joshua Alexander.
Very nice people running the place and excellent actors. The owner's father was working the entrance, and he was a relaxed, funny guy. I liked the resting point we got in the middle of the trail. I liked the moment of running at the very end, but I can imagine someone may get injured. Getting from the parking area to the trail, and also out of the parking area would have been easier with some signage.
Yeah, not too bad of a review. You know, talking about the little break in the middle of the haunt. I wonder if he really meant a resting point, like he needed to take a break. I'm not sure.
Was there a resting there? Was there like a break?
Well, it's that area right before the motel. That might have been like the middle of the haunt.
Okay.
And yeah, they do have a chainsaw ending. It's pretty typical. You obviously don't have to run. And I agree about the parking area. There wasn't anything really telling you where the thing was. I just figured it was somewhere in the direction that I could hear noises. So, alrighty, here's some of the 5-star reviews.
For a first year, it definitely shows a lot more potential over other newer and existing haunts. We gave this a 6.5 out of 10. The set quality was solid. The actors were above average, but being the first year, it is a bit short. There was an outdoor lounge with fire pits with food and beverages available to purchase. There were also complimentary yard games set up. We spoke to the owner, and they have the land and plans to expand in the coming years. However, we would recommend to check them out this year.
Well, all I can say is amazing. I was totally impressed by all the details that make this haunt great. Was I scared? You bet I was. The whole experience was fantastic. What a Halloween treat.
I went on the lights out weekend and it was amazing. The actors were amazing, and each room had both a creepy factor and a fear factor that just gave a whole new experience that I have never seen. I will gladly return to see what other goodies they create and add.
I was a little skeptical about going because there was no reviews and it's brand new. There's always room for improvement, and these type of things usually get better as the years go by. But all in all, it was great. It was a little short for the price, but the actors were amazing and fun to interact with. Parking was $6. That wasn't mentioned anywhere. So that was a little annoying. The area before you go in and where you come out has heaters to warm you up, games to play, and drinks. Overall, a good experience.
Wait, so there was a parking fee for this?
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Wait, let's just see what this last one has to say.
This is located in Action Wildlife, not far from the Goshen Fairgrounds. This was their first year doing the haunted trail. It was very entertaining and fun. The only negative was that it was very muddy. The heavy rains from 2 days ago have not dried yet. $25 for entry, which is not that bad. They also have VIP tickets that allow you to cut the line to get in. Bring some cash because it is $6 to park. There's also food and beer at the concession stand. There was a little area with gas fireplaces you can sit around. There was also an area with cornhole, Connect 4, Jenga, etc. Make sure you wear sneakers or boots. It's about an 18-minute walk. Great for a date night during this season. 5 stars.
Yeah, all right. So I really did forget about that parking fee. Everything else he said was true. Good review, but the parking fee. Thank God I had cash on me that night. I'm not entirely sure if they had a card reader, and honestly, it was kind of a joke. Now that I really think about it, their parking area is a complete dirt lot. It's got big divots all over the place. There was no actual parking attendee except for the person just taking the money, which easily they could have just kept a lot of that cash for themselves. You know? It doesn't look like anyone is checking. And $6 for a parking fee is stupid, especially if they're just doing cash. You need to have all of those ones ready for change.
Yeah.
You know?
$6.
Yeah, there's no lights in the parking area. I don't think it was even mentioned once in any of their Facebook posts. And I just looked. It's only ever mentioned once on their actual website, on the bottom of their ticket tab, which most people go to and just click on the buy ticket here window.
Right.
And it takes them to the actual ticketing website. So you would have to scroll down further than where you want to go in order to see that they do a freaking parking lot fee.
So it was mentioned somewhere then.
Well, when you have to go hunting for it, that's not okay. You know, other places that I've gone to that collect for parking, they mention it as many times as they can. And it makes sense that they would collect. They have people working in the parking area. They go and clean it all up afterwards, or it's for like a Boy Scouts or something.
Right.
Usually it's a completely detached thing too, like the parking lot isn't the haunt's responsibility.
Right.
They don't own it or rent it or anything like that.
No one likes it, but I just hate paying for parking. It's kind of like, ugh, we got to pay another thing here. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, I understand why they might have to in certain situations. But
and you know, because of that parking fee thing, and because of the no refund policy thing, and all the scenarios where it should be refunded, I definitely have to include this review right here. This is from the National German Wirehair Pointer Rescue Fund Drive Facebook page.
The what?
A dog rescue organization that only deals with the German Wirehair Pointer breed.
Oh, okay.
And they have a specific page dedicated to the fund drive, apparently. And they thought it would be the best account to leave a mad comment about another business. So, this is on October 24th, 2022.
Buyer beware. They close Sunday. And no refunds for people who cannot reschedule. I spent $70 for 2 VIP tickets. And no resolution.
So far, they canceled a show on Sunday. That's true. October 23rd, Sunday was canceled. They posted it before noon that day. So here's what the owner had to say.
This customer has already been addressed prior to this review via multiple emails back and forth. Our no refund policies are made very clear on our website and on hauntpay.com when purchasing tickets, and in the confirmation email after the ticket purchase. All customers are given the option to choose a different date to use their tickets in case of a weather cancellation, again as stated on our website, hauntpay.com, and an email confirmation. All tickets holders also received an email in the early afternoon with a notification of our cancellation, along with instructions for rescheduling tickets.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel like that would help me, especially if you spend the money on the extra VIP tickets, you know?
Right. And also, like, there's one more weekend before Halloween. There's only 3 more days to choose from, even if you could reschedule. So this person is saying they couldn't reschedule. And they had like 2 more nights in November for their blackout shows, which I'd be royally pissed off if I had to get forced into one of those things instead. Mm-hmm. And it also says on their rescheduling policy that it's not even any other date to choose from. It's selected dates. So I don't even know what date they were told they could come back for. And then this German wirehair pointy-ear people reacted.
I bought tickets in good faith. There was no inclement weather and I leave for vacation on Thursday. It is completely unfair to not refund under these circumstances. What happens if you have to close this week and there's no date to reschedule? How would you handle those people? Just keep their money and say, oh wow, too bad, too sad. Just because you can do something doesn't make it the right thing to do. Not only did I not get a refund, but I sent an email from Georgia asking if the tickets that I purchased could be used on another night by my son-in-law and grandson. I received absolutely no response. How this cannot be a rip-off, I honestly don't know. I do plenty of positive reviews when service is positive. When every activity in the state of Connecticut is open, and this one is closed due to inclement weather, it is completely unfair. I wasted $79 with absolutely no resolution.
You know, I should mention that this whole ramble, wasn't posted in a single comment. This was multiple comments over, at least like 2 days.
Yeah, you got to do the refund, in my opinion. Like, how much is it for a ticket?
Regular ticket, I don't know.
35 or something like that.
Well, she said that she spent $70 for 2 VIP tickets.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I'm gonna say like 20-25. I don't know.
Like, if you have proof that person didn't use the ticket, I don't know how popular this place is, but like, is it worth that $35 a ticket to get these bad reviews that people are gonna look at and like scare people off of buying a ticket and be like, I might not be able to get this back, or if something happens, I might not be able to get my money back. Is it worth that money that
very true
you didn't give this person back?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that I wanted to find out after this response here was it actually raining that day? That night, I wasn't too far away from that area, so I was at Demented Effects in Holyoke, less than an hour away anyway. And I don't remember any rain that day, but maybe. But according to Weather Underground, it didn't rain at any point during the day except for right at 5 p.m. for maybe an hour. Mm-hmm. A drizzle that amounted to like 0.04 inches. It was a perfect 54 degrees. Wind was an average at 7 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. Just for reference, a breeze is described as 15 to 25 miles per hour.
Would you look at that? I mean, was there even like the scare of rain like during the day at all?
I was looking for that. Unfortunately, I don't know of a place where you can find what they thought the day was going to look like.
Yeah.
But the closest outdoor haunts open on that Sunday were Nightmare Acres and Trail of Terror. And this is interesting. So Trail of Terror announced on Facebook that they would be open that night. And Nightmare Acres announced that they would not. Trail of Terror barely posts anything. So the fact that they even were posting, that proves that there apparently was some concern for rain.
Right.
Let alone Nightmare Acres closing.
Well, I bet you feel like a big dumb idiot.
No. I did my research, all right? I did my own research. I'm good. I just wanted to test the actuality of that statement, that's all. The only way it would have mattered, though, is if the haunt was lying about that.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't matter why they closed. I think that it's not right to tell people they needed to choose a different night to come back to.
Right.
Especially when you only have 2 or 3 nights to choose from.
So why would the haunt choose to close if they weren't like 100% sure that it was going to rain?
Mostly because of the crew, I think.
Yeah.
Especially on the Sunday night. Imagine just sitting around all day till 5 p.m. just waiting for the call. It's like, well, I would have made plans.
The thing with that is, if this is a very specific job, if you're agree to do this, you kind of have to deal with the weather situations because it's that type of job. I know it sucks, but you're gonna have to wait and see if you're actually gonna work that night, just because of the circumstances.
For the amount of money that they're paying.
I know.
No. I know. And when I worked as an actor, I didn't care what the freaking weather was, except one night. One night was real bad because this was after working a full night in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
And then they wanted us all to come back the next day when it was pouring even harder, all of us were still frozen. We're all feeling sick. But we still showed up because we thought that, like, maybe they would just have us do something else, like help out inside or something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're running the whole thing. What are you talking about? We're not canceling. I'm like, it's fucking... You're going to have us working in a freaking puddle out there. Like, we're going to be swimming. Like, no, I'm sorry. We can't do that. But,
It's a tough situation.
No.
I mean, obviously you got to look at the percentage of the range. Obviously, the chances of that, but like,
yeah, I'm not completely
But when you
blaming.
do cancel like this, you run into these problems with the customers. So it's like, what do you want to? You have to choose what bad situation you want to deal with. You know,
right?
The employee situation or the customer situation.
Yeah, but this whole thing stems from, okay, so are you going to give refunds to the people that were going to show up tonight, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to make the safe call and say, I don't know if it's going to rain, but if it does, then everything is going to suck, it's probably safer just to say, no, we can't have the show tonight. But you're running a show where they have to freaking buy tickets in advance, and you only have a couple nights left. So give the refund. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine also, like, if you're looking at the ticket sales, you've only sold, like, 20 tickets for that day. Everyone is thinking it might get rained out anyway, so nobody else is buying tickets. You know, so is it worth opening up? That's a lot of money to open up for a night. You know, running the gas for the generators, paying everyone, makeup, cleaning the costumes. You know, it's a gamble. So
yeah.
But that's for another podcast, I guess. So what about the issue of having absolutely no refund policy at all? The owner flat out said that he had multiple emails with this guy or girl. I can't imagine that conversation being any more than, I can't reschedule, I'm not in the area anymore. Sorry, dude, can't help you. But there's no way I can go back to see the haunt. I'm losing all of that money. It's ours now, bro. I just don't understand what actually is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, they have a point, though. Like, what if the last weekend was like a hurricane or something? If everyone who bought tickets, are they all screwed? I don't know. You know, I just feel like this should have been handled better. Now, I'm not completely on this German dog thing's side, right? I don't support people using their rescue fund page to leave bad reviews of random places. It feels kind of sketch here. So you're all the way down in Georgia. You bought tickets for your son-in-law and grandson, who I'm assuming live in Connecticut. You're going on vacation on Thursday. Are they going with you? And you got VIP tickets and going on vacation. This is a fundraiser page for a dog rescue organization. You better not be spending that donation money on this. You know, I've heard a few stories about people doing rescue stuff and pocketing a lot of money. You know, I'm making a lot of assumptions, but whatever.
Yeah. It could be that, you know, Forsaken Lands was getting a lot of, like, refunds, requests, and they were just getting sick of it, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can see haunt owners feeling like they're just getting dicked around. But I still think when you cancel an evening, it should be a choice to either use your ticket on any other night or a full refund. It just seems to make more sense to me. So with all that said, I do think that the Forsaken Lands is really good, and I do hope that they keep getting bigger and better. That's a pretty good spot. They definitely have a dream, a vision, a passion. There might be a little bit of an ego problem, but we can work on that. So I wish them all the best. And that's what I got for the Forsaken Lands. Thank you for tuning in to the New England Haunts podcast, episode number 7. Next episode, number 8, is my journey to another first-year haunt in northern Rhode Island called the Haunted Gallows. And thank you, noobs, for joining me again today.
It's been my absolute pleasure.
I'll see you again soon. And thanks to everyone for listening. Peaces.
Peace.